Hello everyone, it's Nicole. I wanted to create a video today, a yin practice for all of you. And inspired by the fact that I just taught a yin class online, and I thought, well, why don't I just record it and give it to everybody so you guys could have a yin practice while all of this wild stuff is happening on the planet. We need to get grounded, we need to get centered. The light's coming through the window, so it's looking good in here. What you need for this practice is 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you could use little, let's see, what could you use? Boxes? Shoe boxes? Then we also need a strap. If you don't have a strap, you could use a tie, you could use a towel, you could use a scarf. And we may use the bolster. I'll decide, sometimes I change things around. If you don't have that, you can use either a long blanket rolled up or a pillow and a blanket. And so right now I'm just sitting on a blanket. We'll start in a meditation, and if you need to go get the props, you can always pause this video and go get your props and then pause and restart again. Okay. So let's start by closing our eyes and really going inward. Taking a few solid, deep breaths. And with each exhale, remembering that we are safe. That we have the ability to ground into our bodies and into our seats and into the earth. And when things get chaotic in our lives, in general, our practice is to get softer, to slow down, and to go inward, to connect to ourselves. And right now on this planet, as we're experiencing some chaos, the root chakra is really off balance. And if you don't know the energetics of the root chakra, I will talk about it throughout this practice to teach you how to rebalance your root. In times when we feel untethered or ungrounded, there's a restlessness. We might want to escape our bodies. We might want to flee, right? Fight or flight. So that sympathetic nervous system is turned on. And when that happens, our body gets flooded with all sorts of chemicals that actually are antithetical to healing. They're the antithesis of healing. We want to be in healing. We want to be in parasympathetic nervous system to boost our immunity. So allow yourselves to take a few more deep breaths, just very simply and slowly. And now you'll bring your right palm up to your face. Your right palm is going to come up to your face. You'll drop your first 2 fingers down to your palm. We call this the hanging sign, but it's actually Vishnu Mudra. And then you bring this to your face. You close off your right nostril and exhale out the left. Inhale through the left nostril. Close off the left, exhale right. Inhale right nostril. Pause, close, exhale left. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. Just continue to breathe like this. As I'm speaking, this is Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. And this is balancing both hemispheres of your brain, becoming more neutralized in your nervous system. On the next exhale on the left, release your hands. Palms can be face up, index, finger, and thumb in Uddiyana Mudra. Take a deep breath in through the nose, both nostrils. Exhale out the mouth. Again, inhale both nostrils. And just releasing your shoulders, your neck, and just letting yourself settle into your body. Now, hopefully you feel a bit more centered and grounded and anchored. Let's bring our hands to our heart center and bow our chin in towards our chest. And in this time, there's a lot going on. But what it is teaching us on so many levels, this is teaching us how to go inward, how to rebalance ourselves, how to slow down, how to reconnect with our own person, our own inner being, how to really listen, how to connect to our highest truth and to our authentic selves. This is teaching us that we are so connected and yet very disconnected. And so learning how to connect with our hearts, with our bodies, with our energy, with our emotions, with our mind, learning how to become a fully aligned, holistic system. And as we do that, allowing maybe the uncertainty, allowing the old structures and paradigms to fall away that weren't working anyway. And spending this time internally to create and to fuel possibility. So many possibilities. It's actually quite an exciting and extraordinary time. So we call to the highest. We call to the highest angels, guides, spirits, all the beings that support the new earth, the new structures, the planetary evolution. We call them into our being, as us, with us, channeling through us to create divine partnership, community, unity, and love. For connecting to all the celestial realms, thank you so much for this opportunity. And giving blessings and healing and offering our service and our light to those who are suffering always. We hold you in such high heart and love. Let's take a deep breath in for Om. Releasing palms, releasing arms. Good. We're going to lie down on our backs and grab a hold of our strap. And if you need something to support your head, that's fine. Maybe you want that as a pillow at any height. Just want to make sure your spine is long and you're comfortable. This is yin, so we'll be holding poses a little bit longer and going pretty slow. And this is to help really unlock some tension in the body and to relax the nervous system and to release any tension that's in the fascia, the connective tissue. This is where we hold and store memories, emotions. We're going to be working with the legs and the feet because we want to ground our root chakra. So let's lie down on our backs. Oh, I'm going to be in the sun. Get some sunshine. Get my vitamin D. All right, so you can start by bending your knees and then raise the right foot up into the air, loop the strap around that right foot. And we'll start by creating length. So taking your hands all the way up the strap so that the arms are straight. Releasing the shoulder heads down into their socket. Flex your ankle. And feel your right outer hip. You want to steer your right outer hip forward towards the front of your mat. And now if your pelvis feels neutral, then go ahead and extend the left leg towards the front of your mat. And breathe here. Feel the legs, feel the feet. So if you're not familiar with Muladhara chakra, Mula means root. So Muladhara means root chakra. And our feet and our legs, I like to think of them as like trees, right? Trunks of the trees have roots that connect into the earth. And our legs are veins, are like branches and roots that look like that in our body. Imagine all of those veins and the nerves that we're stretching going into the feet. And you can even imagine the feet and the legs connecting to the earth, getting grounded. And so our root chakra is about our physical body, physical well-being. And we're seeing on the world stage that we are being asked to really look at that first chakra, really look at our physical body, the density, the earth element. How we associate with our body or disassociate with our body, how we treat our body as a sacred temple or not. And so in this moment, it's really saying to your body, I love my body, I'm safe in my body. And as you're reaching for your heel, elongating the whole spine as well. Feel the length. If you have tight hamstrings, your knee can be slightly bent, of course. And then go ahead and take the strap into your right hand. Take your left hand to your left thigh, press it down. So you want to keep that left hip anchored. And as you exhale, turn your whole right leg out from your hip. You're going to feel an external rotation in your hip joint. And then as you release your leg, allow it to come down without lifting that left hip. You might have to adjust your arm on the strap. And some of you may need a bolster or a block to release your leg onto. I actually happen to have one here, but I didn't before. And so I can show you. You might actually put your leg onto the bolster. Okay? And what that does is give you extra support so that your leg and your hip can relax. Some of you may not need that at all. So play around with what feels good. And then notice, once you're in the pose, especially in yin, how can I surrender more? You can surrender through your exhales. Let the exhale sweep through the body, in and out through the nose. Releasing any tension that's in your face, your jaw, your eyes. Good. And then as you inhale, take that right leg back up to the ceiling. Take your left hand to the strap. And you can always move your bolster over to the other side if you need it. Otherwise, you're going to take that leg across your body. And what I'd love for you to do is keep your left toes pointed up. If you keep your left toes pointed up, it's a deeper stretch in the outer IT band. You'll feel that right away. And then I can see on my body, I'm kind of hiking my hip up, so dropping my hip down and right hip feeling the whole side of my body lengthening towards my hips, towards my feet. Keep flexing your ankle. Deep breaths. And I feel a lot of sensation here in my body. You might feel that too. If we're, gripping in our bodies, let's say our body's in fight or flight in the sympathetic nervous system, which most of us are in these moments, then we start to hold tension in our bodies in all sorts of places. So while you're practicing today, just open your mouth, open your jaw, release any sounds you may want to release. And then inhale, bring the leg back up to the center. You can bend the knee, release the strap, and just kind of shake out the leg and then bring it down to the floor. And notice, like my right leg now is about 3 inches, it feels like, longer than the left. It's great. Okay, so now bending the left knee and wrapping the strap around your foot. And turning your attention towards your right foot, see that your right foot and toes are pointing up. Relax your head, walk your hands up the strap. And release any tension in your jaw and your arms. Let your shoulders be in their socket. And it may not be good for filming to have all this light on your face, but I'll tell you, it feels really good. It's been cold here in Ashland. All right, so flexing your ankle, walking your hands up, relaxing your shoulders. Feel a slight bend in your left knee. So you can do that for your body, especially if you have tight hamstring. And typically in here, I may not talk as much, but since there's a video, sometimes people think something happens to the video. So every now and again, I'll just chime in and let you know I'm still here. Start to guide your breath to your exhale. There's a force of energy, of breath, we call it the vayus. The apana vayu, the downward force of air. And apana vayu governs our elimination. It governs the root chakra. It governs really the way that we detoxify and release. So as you're breathing here, breathe down into your legs, into your feet, and feel that subtle energy moving down, which will help you to ground as well, get more connected and tethered. Let's place the strap into the left hand. Place your right hand on your right thigh. And as you exhale, release the left leg out to the left. And again, if you need a bolster, you could always bring it over to the other side, which I did on my right side. So I'll make myself even. You want to stay symmetrical in yoga, right? Yoga wants the body to be symmetrical. And symmetry, you want to use props on the same side, or the same props on each side, so you maintain that symmetry and balance. So breathing here, relaxing all the muscles. And just know that your body is supporting itself, and the earth is supporting your body. And one thing I've been talking to people about in my classes is we're bringing our bodies back to balance. This whole virus has showed us to renew and remember our bodies, our physical health, and to bring things back into balance, to slow down. We are a culture that is so fast and furious, and we take in so much information. And so if there's anything that we're learning, it's to slow down, and we're being taught to really pause and listen to our bodies, to pay attention to our priorities, and to reconnect with the earth. The earth is root chakra, and the earth is your primary relationship with mother energy, mother line. And so as we rebalance our connection to the earth, we begin to re-nurture ourselves, re-parent ourselves, re-nurture ourselves, renew ourselves, just like we do with our children if you have children or pets or family members that you take care of. We're remembering how to nurture one another and to take care of ourselves first and foremost, and then each other. Inhale, bring that leg back to the center. Bring your hands back up to the strap. Switch the crossing of the strap to the right hand now. And take your leg across your body. Ooh, wow. I feel that in my hips. So I'm keeping my right toes pointed up towards the sky so that I get more in the IT band and the outer hip and leg. And some of you may want to just take the whole leg over. If you do that, that's fine. It becomes a different pose. It's more of a twist than it is keeping the pelvis anchored to the ground. And neither one is right or wrong, just different. But feel into it. Feel what feels good. If you want to take this to a deeper twist, you would just stack your hips and take the twist in the upper chest. And inhaling and exhaling fully and deeply down into the feet. Again, feel the root. Rebalancing our root. I am safe. The great mantra for the root chakra. My body supports me. My body and I are friends. My body is healthy and well. And then inhale back to the center. Wow, that felt really good. And then bring that leg back up. Release the strap. And then both knees. Now bring both knees into the chest. And just do a little rock side to side. Like you're cradling yourself. And it's actually a good metaphor for what we're doing as a culture right now. We're like cradling our inner children, that primary relationship. And you might find in this slowing down that you have things to heal in your body, in your mother line, in your relationship and balance with the earth too. You know, I made a not so funny maybe joke the other day, but we have been viruses on the planet. If you were to look at us as a species, we're actually a virus to the earth in many ways. And so this is a wake-up call for us to rebalance and come into relationship and balance and harmony with nature, which is a reflection of who we are. Let's lift the pelvic floor muscles, feel that. We'll do a little bit of breath of fire with you, so we're going to rock up just to clear that out. It's not something I typically do in yin, but it feels like it's something that we can really release right now together. So we will raise our arms up to the sky, about a 45-degree angle. Take all of our fingers down to our palms, thumbs wearing out. And we'll only do this, I'll time it for about a minute. And I just want you to think of clearing out any of the dross, they call it, any of the toxins that you're ingesting mentally, emotionally, physically. So to do breath of fire, it's a sharp exhale, back. It's like fogging a mirror, but you close your mouth. Okay, so take a deep breath in. You would not do this if you were pregnant or on your moon. Just deep, slow breaths. Inhale. For an exhale. Inhale. Begin breath of fire. Take a deep breath in. Bring your thumbs to touch. Extend all the fingers out. Draw up the root lock, Mula Bandha. Sex organs, belly. Hold the breath. And release the arms down. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. And I'm going to close the blinds really quick, because now I can't see anything. Good. And we're going to lie down again. I just really wanted to kind of clear out the lungs. It felt like something that I needed to do in that moment. So coming back from lying down, we'll bring our arms alongside the body. Take your right ankle and cross it over your left leg. Right ankle crossing over the left leg. Take your right arm through the triangle, the gate of the legs, and interlace your hands on your shin, moving into thread the needle. You may use your right elbow to press your right knee or right thigh out. Get a little bit more on the hip. And when you go into a pose in yin, I want you to really slow down. There's nowhere to go. It's a bit different than a vinyasa class where we typically are breathing and moving, linking the breath to the movement. Yin, we're just slowing down and being in a pose. And it affords us the opportunity to listen to our internal dialogue and to hear and to feel sensation. And this isn't something that we do very often in our daily lives. So slowing down to really listen. Is there a subtle fear in my body? Or a big fear? Root chakra governs things like basic needs. So when people go into fear, this is why people are starting to find scarcity and hoarding, because they believe their basic needs will not be met. And so we go inward to challenge that story. Is it true that our basic needs are not going to be met? And it's an opportunity to really dive in and ask yourself, ask spirit, am I going to be okay? Can I trust that life supports me? And if I am one that gets sick, can I trust that that's part of what is happening for the evolution of my own consciousness, for the evolution of my own spirit? And it's a great time to really connect to that, because this root chakra also relates in yoga to fear of fear of death, of innovation. So it challenges that root fear, one of the root fears that we deal with as we move through self-actualization. Am I in terms with what death means for myself and for others? Have I questioned that? Am I okay with it? This is a real big question for me. What's my relationship to that? And then release that right leg, shake it out. And place the foot on the floor, back to that bridge-like leg position. People might call this tabletop legs. And then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Left arm through the gate of the triangle, bringing your right knee, right shin in towards your chest. Flex the left ankle. And I remember many years ago being challenged with that question in my own being and feeling a lot of fear and groundlessness around it, and having to come to terms with what it meant for me. And it brought me deeper into my spiritual practice more than ever. And it also brought me into a place of trust, actually, a much more profound sense of trust in a bigger force, a higher force, my higher self and guidance. So as we're breathing here, tuning into the root, tuning into my basic needs, tuning into my safety. Am I safe? And another concept is resourcing. I call it resourcing inner safety. Do I know how to resource inner safety? And if you don't, maybe I'll do a workshop on it. It's actually quite a process to resource inner safety. But one way that we can do it quickly is to imagine a characteristic of, it could be like an animal, like a power animal. It could be something that we know to be strong. It could be an archangel. It could be a deity. And we bring their characteristics into our frame of reference, into our perspective. And we imbue our bodies with their energy. And so this is all done through your imagination, but you can send, like, for example, I could send unconditional love and miracles, what I know of Mother Mary, into my body to soothe or ease my fear, my pain. And then exhale, release that side, and shake out that leg, shake out both legs. And then take your feet as wide as the mat, just knock your knees in and release your hips. One hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. So I'm keeping us close to the ground and in a container of safety and support. And now as you exhale, bring your knees into your chest. Take your arms out to the side in a T. And then bring your knees over to your right wrist. And stack your knees, stack your ankles, stack your hips. Knees over your left shoulder. Then a simple spinal twist. And at this time, I know in my body, when I get stressed, I feel it mostly in my shoulders and in my neck and in my jaw. So that's where I hold my tension. Where do you hold your tension typically? Relax those places first. Those are your habitual ones. And then once you've done that, see if there's other areas that are holding constriction. Deeply breathe into the lungs. Your breath is so powerful as a healer, as a tool in healing. And this virus actually affects the lungs, which affects the heart. The heart chakra and grief is stored in the lungs. So as a culture, we are living in the first three chakras. That's what we talk about as energy healers. We're living in fear, we're living in greed and shame and sex, and we're living in like power mongering, it's like over and abuse of power. Well, if we want to raise our consciousness and get to the next level of consciousness, we're moving to the heart chakra. And so maybe this is clearing out old patterns of grief, disconnection in the heart. Something to think about. Inhale, bring the knees back to the center. I just tap down my feet for a second and I just kind of lift my hips up, gives me a better twist to stack my hips. Knees will go over towards the left wrist, stack your ankles, your knees, and your hips. And then turn towards the right arm. Relax your shoulders. So it is interesting to ponder about the heart. If we're energetically going to open up to a community-based, unity-based, lifting each other up, connected place as a consciousness, then we need to release what's blocking our hearts. And so I like to look at things as energy. This might be that brilliant opportunity to extend ourselves. And even if we're social distancing, we can still connect like we are right now. Pray together, breathe together, feel together, love together. Inhale, bring your knees back to the center. Drop the feet down to the floor, realign your hips to the center. Then just pause. And then as you exhale, we'll start to rock all the way up and down, all the way up. Good. And then we'll come on to hands and knees. If you want to place a blanket underneath your knees, that might feel really good. Supportive for the knees. If you have tender knees, like I do, tender knees. Once you're on hands and knees, separate your knees, hip width, your hands shoulder distance, and begin to take some cat-cows. We're just going to gently lift our belly and lift our chest, open up the collarbones, open up the chest. And as you exhale, start to round, curling the tailbone down, curling the back and the chin in. Press down to your feet, inhale, draw the belly in and up, open the chest, support your lower spine. Exhale, start to round, chin to chest, rounding the body, tailbone towards the neck. Two more like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. I'm really taking my time with my breath. Again, healing our breath, healing our lungs, releasing oxygen is so healing for the body. Come back to a neutral place. You'll take your right foot forward by your hand. So we'll just be in a gentle lunge. You can grab your blocks. I like to flip the blocks so that my hands are right under my shoulders. And so you're here. This isn't really much of a stretch for most people, but for some it is, so you can do that. I'll curl my back toes. I'll lengthen my leg back. I'm going to come into more of a lunge position, and then I'm going to drop my back knee. So for some, you may need to move the blanket again if you want to use that. And what I'm doing is positioning myself so my heel is in alignment with my knee. My hands are underneath my shoulders. I'm going to drop my pelvis down, release my back toe, and then just come into this space, closing my eyes, and a nice deep hip stretch. And you can have the blocks at any height. It doesn't really matter as long as you feel supported. And so in terms of stretching the hip flexors, like we are now, the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle is your fight or flight muscle. So we're in, as a culture right now, fight or flight. Again, sympathetic nervous system. We want to stretch the areas of our body that hold that tension so we can really relax. And just drop any amount that you wish to drop. And lifting my chest, opening my heart. Now I'm going to take this a little bit further. I'll take the block that's under my left hand, and I'm going to slide it forward a little bit and drop to my forearm. Okay. And now I'm going to take my hand off of that block and let's move it to the side. I'm going to press my right knee out to the side. I'm rolling onto the outer edge of the right foot, pressing my right knee down. My left shoulder blade is down the back, my left palm is open. I'm just breathing deeply into this hip, and I'm trying to release that left inner thigh, that left psoas muscle, left hip flexor as well. Deep inhales and exhales, soothing my body, soothing my nervous system. So another mantra that you can use aside from I am safe, I matter, right? Density, matter, earth, physical body, I matter. And when we say things like I matter, it gives us that kind of root anchoredness that gives us that right to be here. I have a right to be here. That's another mantra. I have a right to be here. My earth mission is important. We come out of fear and we realize I have a right to be here. I'm here for a reason. What am I here to do? And then exhale, bring that right leg back into center. So the heels under the knees. Support yourself with blocks if you need it. Come on up. Curl the back toes, and let's just lean back. Let's lean back and stretch that right leg. Ooh. And now my knee is right underneath my hips. My hands are underneath my shoulders. And then stretching into that hip flexor. Oh, on my belly, and I'm such a hypermobile lower back. Okay. And you know, if you want to take this even further, some of you could take this into like a Hanumanasana and go into splits. Okay, I'm not really doing that right now. I'm just awesome, just letting you know that's available to you, and some of you are dead. And then the left leg now is going to come forward. Left leg is going to come forward. Heel under the knee, palms under the shoulders. And for me, I'm actually going to bring this blanket back just a little bit. I curl my toes, bring this down, relax the back toes, and go up a little bit. I want my knee over my ankle. And I'll pause here. Stretch. Feels really good to release the hip flexors. Got the tailbone down. Draw the shoulder heads back and down. Allowing any sounds to come through. It's a great way of releasing the hips. The hips are a vibratory center, and so is the fifth chakra, the Shuddha chakra. Purify our vibration. Good. And then take that right block and lower it down if you need to, if you want to. And then you're going to lower down your forearm. Take your left hand to your left inner knee. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Left knee goes out to the side. And some of you might even turn this into a twist. You can open up the chest into a twist and gaze over the shoulder or towards the sky. Or some of you will look down. Down is good. Upana Vayu, downward force of air and movement to the ground, getting safe, getting our bodies, getting connected. It's feeling like your basic needs are met. You have air, we have food, we have shelter. Basic needs are met. My basic needs are met. Life is supporting me. Life is supporting me. This is a really good time to really check in. We've been calling in this new paradigm. Shifting into a new paradigm means living on the earth, living in earthly ways. Not going against the earth, not hoarding, not overproducing, not overconsuming, not materialistic wealth, right? So we've been kind of calling in, right, the dismantling of the old structures, and now we're trying to figure out how to actually do that. So it's a great possibility to think about, and coming into ourselves to really ask the question, how do we do this? What is the new earth? What is the new design? What is the new we are calling in. So it can be very exciting too. And again, sending love and so much healing to those who are in need. Doesn't discount the people that are in need. You send them a lot of healing and a lot of love. And we hold them in such a light-filled container. And then we'll come back to stretching that left leg. Bring the left hip back, straighten the left leg, half Hanumanasana. Walk your hands back so they're under the shoulders. Again, if you want to go into the full pose, you can feel free to do that. I am checking in on the time here. Let's bring that left knee back and we'll remove the blocks. If you have a bolster, you can use it for child's pose. If you don't, that is fine. You can take your knees really wide to the outer edges of the mat and bring the bolster in between the thighs. This feels really good. And you can also put a blanket at the top of the bolster. And again, if you don't have a bolster, that's fine. You can also use, if you'd like, a block underneath your forehead. And that's just as great, because when a block is under our forehead, then our nervous system relaxes when the forehead's relaxed. Okay, so I'm going to use the bolster and the blanket. If you're using the bolster and the blanket, it's like hugging a teddy bear. Maybe you have a big teddy bear at home you can hug. That'll be fun. Okay. And just bring your head to one side, release your whole body. When the belly is supported by something, it's like, so good for the nervous system. It just relaxes our whole digestive tract, and we hold so much tension in our guts. And now that we're talking about immunity, it's like gut health is the most important. It's considered our first brain. So keeping probiotics and your gut healthy and pH balance, so important for your health. And here, let's let our gut just kind of hang out. Why do we pull it back in so much? So much tension in our belly. Breathe into your belly. For that support. And typically, I might hold you here a lot longer than I will today, just because of time. You can switch your head to the other side just to get even. Each breath, relaxing your nervous system, letting yourself unwind. And here, while we're in child's pose, just breathe into the back of your heart. Your heart's receiving energy. You're receiving energy for your body, receiving energy for yourself. Nourish yourself. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Thank you so much. Now it's time to turn in and receive. So good. And then we'll come up slowly. Maybe I'll keep doing these because it feels good for me to do my own practice with you. Okay, so one thing that we can do now is we're going to come into a downward facing dog, which I like to do in to stretch out the whole body. And since we just did, we're doing legs, it's a great posture to connect your hands and your feet to the earth. And it's also an inversion, so it's something that we can kind of build up to in the yin class. but we'll do it in a way that feels really relaxing. You can use a bolster or you can use a block, and I'll just show you what we're doing. So when we come into the pose, have soft knees, like really bend them in this posture, and try to put a block right underneath your forehead. Okay? And the purpose of this is to relax into it, but also I want to do it because it feels really connecting to the earth. And I can stretch out and support my body. If it's too much, you can let that go. And I'm keeping my knees soft again. I'm using my arms. I'm pressing the ground and the earth away to get energy into my body. And I allow myself to feel really traction in my spine, letting gravity, or countering gravity, I should say. And then breathing there. So be in your downward dog. If you're in it with a bolster, the bolster would be across the mat, and your head would be on the bolster. Now you can even walk your feet a little bit wider. That gives you more space in your hips. It opens up the sacrum. And again, in yin, we're not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to like power up in this pose. I am trying to power up my energy in a way. I mean, in yin, we're trying to balance our energy. So I'm offering this actually as an immersion, which is to bring energy into the body, but also to flip perspective, to see perspective from a different vantage point. To let my head be below my heart being the captain of the ship. Helps me get out of my head. And then I'll have you walk your hands back to your feet. So go slow, just walk your hands very slowly back to your feet until you're standing up nice and tall. Feet are hip distance, bringing your hips over your heels. And then for some, if that's too much, you can always have hands on blocks. I'm going to ask that you grab opposite elbows like you're a big, big elephant. And just sway side to side. Again, we're getting into our feet. Someone was telling me the other day that they saw an elephant in a vision. They were wondering what the elephant was. The elephant is a very loyal animal. And they actually connect very closely in tribes. They support each other quite a lot. They actually have, their feet are connected to the earth in a way where they can actually communicate through the vibration of their feet. And they send pulses of energy through the ground to connect to other elephants. And I thought that was really amazing. It's like reminding us here in our legs and our feet that we're connected. We're all connected on this planet. We're all connected. And we've come to a time where we've been very disconnected in certain ways to our own bodies, right? Our own bodies, our own minds. Actually, we've been in our minds and not in our bodies, I should say. And so to get back into our bodies and embody all the wisdom that we've been learning, really root it down and integrate it, and use it, and materialize it. You can switch the crossing of the elbow or switch the crossing of the forearm so you're grabbing the opposite elbow now. Feel free to bend your knees a lot. Such a good stretch for the legs and the nerves and the connective tissue and the fascia. Remembering our feet, and then bend your knees, release your hands, and just walk yourself all the way back to your down dog. Bend the knees and come back to the earth, back to the earth, move down. Child's pose, if you want to use any props or not. Relax. Wow. We'll slide our whole bodies forward now. Slide your whole body forward onto the earth. And what we're doing here is hugging the earth. Yes, put your forehead on the ground, hug this big planet. Give her all the love that she's asking for. We love you, Mother Earth. Thank you so much for all the things that you do for us unconditionally. We have forgotten and we are here to remember our indigenous ways. Thank you to the land. Please give us permission to do this healing work. We love you. Right? Just give your love to the earth. Thank you. Now we're going to slide our hands back so that our elbows are under our shoulders for a little bit of a shoulder opener and a back bend. Place your palms down on the ground. Spread your fingers really wide. Reaching back through your legs. I like to take my legs, I just like wiggle my hips a bit so that my inner thighs roll up. And that releases the sacrum, tailbones down. Press down through the arms, lift your chest, sphinx pose, and then close the eyes. And settle into the heart, feeling the heart, the lungs. And all the waters of the planet, which are like the lungs of the planet, feeling the waters of our own love. Feeling the waters of our bodies, through our own breath, purifying, asking for purity. It's bringing so much purity of word, thought, deed, action into our experience. Energy of integrity, and honesty, and strength, fortitude, wisdom, beauty, intelligence, and love. And then drop your chin in towards your chest. Just release the back of your neck. You can gaze towards your right shoulder. And then towards the left shoulder. Do that a few times to release the neck. And any tension, that half moon. And crown up towards the sky, opening up to the heavens, divine intelligence, divine consciousness. What's really interesting is Corona. Alan and I were talking about this the other day. Corona, it's the crown. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe we're opening also, not only figuring out the root, but really connecting to our crown chakra. Opportunity to go in, really open up to the divine consciousness, open up to divine will, grace, connecting to the cosmos and being truly the channels of wisdom. We can only be the channels of wisdom if we heal and we clear out the old patterns, the old ways, the old structures. We heal our lineage of our ancestors. So, follow up for review. Let's take a deep breath. And then exhale, release your arms straight forward, seal pose. You can hold that for a moment. If that's too much on your back, you can completely release down to the floor. Then we'll release everything down to the floor. Just stretch your arms as if you're flying through the air. Super goddess, god pose, superhero pose. So good. Now take your left arm out to the left. So your wrist and your shoulder are in alignment. So left arm out to the left. You're going to bend your right elbow and place your fingertips on the ground. It's like a little tent with your hand. Roll onto your left hip. Roll onto your left hip, stack your ankles, stack your hips. Bend your top knee and place your foot on the floor, either behind or in front of your leg. Some people like it behind, some people like it in front. I'm neutral about it. It doesn't bother me either way. And we're stretching, partly our shoulders. opening up the pecs. And this is great because we tend to hunch over, right? In our culture around the phone and computers, and we're actually closing our heart chakra often. And we're closing the energy there. So this helps to open up the pecs and open up the energy. And stretch your other arm and do that too. Then staying close to the ground. That's my object here today. Stretch your legs back and roll back down to the floor. Right arm out to the right. Again, wrist in alignment with the shoulder. Okay, bend the left elbow, left fingertips on the floor. Now roll and stack your hips to the right. Bend the left knee. Place the foot on the ground in front or behind the leg. And let the head be heavy. Now, keeping us close to the ground, I want to keep us connected to the earth. Find that balance in the root chakra again. Our root chakra also is related to money, and I find it fascinating that all of this is panning out in financial sphere as well. It's stock market coming in. It's like all classic imbalances of the root chakra, and all of the perceived imbalances are showing up right now physically in society, they're manifesting in society. So yeah, we saw the physical outcome of financial duress and fear as well. We're calling in abundance, we're calling in financial health and wellness, as well as physical health and wellness. But really inner prosperity. And that's like moving up towards our second chakra, the inner prosperity, trusting so that we can resource and find ourselves to be prosperous and support each other. Support is a root chakra, also a balancer. I need support. Okay, and then we'll come back to our bellies, release everything, take the arms out. If you want to just kind of roll and take the arms. And then we'll bring our elbows to a bent position, hands by the lower rib cage. We'll press ourselves up and sit on our heels. If it's hard for you to sit on your heels, you can take a block and you can put the block in between your ankles. So I'll just show that here. Sitting up, you can spread your feet like this, or if you have the ability to sit on your heels or sit between your heels, you can do that too. And just pausing here, our chest is lifted, our eyes soft towards the ground. Just tuning in from root to crown. We worked our legs and we've worked our hips. We did a little bit of opening in the core and the heart. So find our whole body more even and more open and more available. And as you're here, drawing the root up. So draw Mulabandha, the pelvic floor muscles. You can think of them as 2 figure eights from hip to hip and from pubic bone to anus. It's like you're drawing that whole neck up. So pull up Mulabandha, the root chakra, and feel that. You can feel that when you're sitting on your heels. That's why I'm sitting on the heels. So feel the root lifting, feel the pelvic floor lifting. And that contains our energy, keeps the energy contained in the body. This is how we can harness really good energy after a practice, is to keep it in this structure. Then you can draw the belly in and up. That's called Uddiyana Bandha, containing, again, this upward now force of air, the downward Apana earlier. Now we're drawing in and up. And we take the chin down into what's called Jalandhara. It's like bringing a top onto a bottle or like a kettle. And we keep that down. It means net. So keeping the net on the top of our energy. And then you can feel all the energy vibrating through the body. This is a really good way of slowing down, yet harnessing and containing the beautiful energy that we created. now what we'll do is we'll lie down, and I'm going to offer actually a chest opener Shavasana, and you don't have to stay in it the whole time. It opens up also the throat chakra. It's like Mayurasana, it's like fish pose. And so it's really nice and elevating for the heart. I don't want it to be too close to the lower back. It's actually for the upper spine. And it will look like this. Now, for some of us, this might be a lot for our neck. I can do it, but for some of you, you want to have a block behind you. You can put your head on the block. But it's to open up the shoulders. And this is a pretty big bolster for me. There are smaller bolsters, but you can also do this with a blanket as well. You can just roll up a blanket and put it under your thoracic, your shoulder blades, and do that as well. So I'll show that with a blanket. So you do this. And put it under your shoulder blades, not your lower back, your shoulder blades. And have your shoulders drop off towards the back. And then I have the block right underneath my head, but I can also move the block out of the way. And come into this really nice, juicy kind of opening, what I'm calling it's like fish pose, very similar, but it's really an open-hearted Shavasana. And then you can let your legs flop out to the sides. I'll say you can stay here for a few breaths, and then I'll let you know if you'd like to take the roll out from underneath your chest and just lie down, and you can do that and just be in a Shavasana. So let's be here for a few breaths, just opening our hearts, raising our frequency, raising our vibration. So that we can speak honestly, openly, with authenticity, clarity of purpose, clarity of voice, clarity of heart. And we're shining that light. I know so many of you that are healers and light workers, and it's really our time to guide people on this planet to their higher consciousness and to their awakening. And that can be very dismantling and very groundless for many. And I know when I had my first really, really major awakening, how groundless it felt. And disorienting. And so to get orientation, to orient ourselves is so important to find something to anchor to. So guiding people into practices where they're in their bodies and not escaping, but really feeling so they can emotionally heal. They can emotionally heal. So for those of you who'd like to come off that bolster or blanket, bending the knees, gently rolling to the side and removing the props so that you can come and lie down in Shavasana. You might even take the bolster or the blanket and put it under your knees. And that's another option too. Turn the palms open, allow the body to rest, shoulder blades down the back. I'm going to leave you in Shavasana. I'm going to sit up and meditate while you're doing that. I can guide you. Begin to slow down your breath until it's barely inaudible. You're just barely there when you're sleeping, but you're consciously aware. Now the body's in parasympathetic rest and digest. And the body gets to heal itself. Such a beautiful reminder that you can come into a practice and inward and find that peace, equilibrium, harmony. And it's from this place of alignment that we resource our energy, our safety, our trust, our truth, power. Where we have the opportunity to connect with higher power, divine source, cosmos, God, universe. And in this space, we know that all is love, even the challenges. This is all a teaching for our highest shift in consciousness. And since I can't use tools and instruments, it seems that breaks up the video a little bit. Just sing a mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. Gurave Satchidananda Mortaye Nishpapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Om. So we'll bring our attention and our awareness back into the fingertips, back into the toes. Waking up into this exquisite body temple that you live in, this sacred temple. Let's stretch our arms over our ears. And then as you exhale, bring your knees into your chest and just give yourself a big old bear hug. You so deserve it. Bring that little child back in and letting the whole body-mind system, emotional system, energetic system, just get back online, alignment, feeling that love and unity and connection. And then you can rock up to a seated pose. Rock up to a seated pose. We'll get our palms into Jnana Mudra again, extending the fingers out. Close the eyes. Feel your whole spine, pliable, flexible, like bamboo, but it's so strong. So strong. fortified energy, prana, life force, vitality, immune system. Bring our hands to our hearts. And Anjali or prayer mudra, bowing our chin in towards our chest and honoring that divine light that's within you. May you be safe. May you know peace. May you be connected to your highest power in love, in kindness, in generosity. Let's take a deep breath in together for Om. Here. The light in me bowed and honors to the light in me. Namaste, beloveds. Thank you for practicing with me, and if you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the practice, then let me know. Feel free to do more and connect with you in this way. Thank you so much for sharing love. Mwah. Bye.